everyone. Welcome to the stream. We are back with more with the letter. We've been playing this for how long now? 25 hours. Actually, still less than what we played Control. So I feel like that we're gonna get about the same amount, which honestly I'm find impressive. Also, hello souls. Hmm, that's what I was worried about. And it's a good thing I waited for that. So, if you notice, the headpad thingy did not trigger. Why it didn't trigger? I don't know. I got everything set up as it should. The VTube Studio should have... over here. You guys see the thingy? Headpad. The kilogram is the HTTP, and it should trigger headpads. Everything's fine on that end. But on the touch thingy, it's put HTTP, but nothing happens. The duration is fine, the event is fine. But for whatever reason, it's not triggering. As you can see. And I'm not exactly sure why. I have the latest version. And I have reconnected the account many times. Let me redo it once more, it seems. Copy the access token and shove it into this thing. And then we need to request the chat thingy. There we go. I save. And by this logic, it should work. But my guess is nothing's going to happen. Yep, not working. So, let's continue a bit on the troubleshooting. Let me see. Seems to be a problem here. It's not really Twitch, it's that HUTS portal that I use for, virtual buttons. Primary device not connected, but that doesn't matter though. Because it's a direct connection. Whatever's the case, it doesn't seem to be working. I did update the tokens, so that can't be the problem. But it seems the latest update is bugged. Question is, can I go back? Probably not. So, it's kinda annoying because I just updated everything to have my cool new thingies, and now they don't work. Let me take one more peek at this. Well, as you can see, sometimes resetting everything is not a good idea. Well, updating everything. So,
FBI, open up!
hey, it wasn't me, I swear. That thing should be working fine. However, you're on cooldown right now, so you can't test it, but if you were to bonk me, I'm fairly certain nothing would happen because, well, it's not connecting. And I don't understand for the life of me why. Well, whatever's the case, there's nothing I can do on my end right now. The current version is broken ever since like 9 days ago, so I guess we'll be waiting meanwhile. I am trying to think how I would solve that, but for now, we'll just continue with the game and not enjoy our cool additions. But at least you get snow. I've been busy and tired. However, I'm glad I got time to play more. And how have you been, Souls? While gathering what they found, Ashton accidentally brought up Isabella's father who had apparently passed away the day before. Suddenly her reason for trying to fix this mess became clear to him. In his attempt to comfort her, he ended up almost admitting something he's not ready to put to words. So here we go. The room's odor hits me first. A sharp, nauseating stench as if someone has accidentally spilled a gallon of bleach in the room. When was the last time they opened this place? Oh, I bet that's the case, so... Especially how the thingy works over there. They're just making things so difficult and expensive. When was the last time you opened this place?
This place smells awful. Jesus, it's worse than the forensics lab on a bad day.
This is probably because of badly botched effort to clean up the place. Even in the dark, I can spy dark stains on the walls. I really don't have time to try and play Is This Ketchup or Soda right now, but I have the strange gut feeling who the mess might belong to. As expected, no security personnel mans the office's CCTV controls, and the standalone DVR setup is open for anyone. So what the hell's going on in the lower right corner of the screen? But no, the main thing is the weird figure behind Isabella. Still, normally I'd have a heap of things to say about this sloppy security setup, but right now, their negligence makes the task of erasing evidence easier.
No fuss, no muss.
The next one should be the access card data. Hopefully getting into your computer won't be too much of a hassle. Everything up to now has been smooth sailing. There have been hiccups, I'll give it that, though it does nothing to dampen the good mood I'm in. Once I shift my attention to the machine sitting next to the DVR setup, all of it swiftly evaporates. I'm no computer buff, but I can definitely recognize one more than a decade old. Simply looking at it makes me feel younger. With a heavy sigh, I powered up and mentally prepared for myself for a slow slug. Slow apparently remains an understatement here. It takes a whole 3 minutes for the whole thing to start up. The OS hasn't even started loading, and in my boredom, I start inspecting the live feeds from the cams. Only two works. One, for the view outside, everything seems to be in order there, and the other, for the workspace where, with a fleeting glimpse, a cursory glance, but the sight of it stops me. The image is a bit blurry, but standing there, right in the middle of the room, one of the cubicles, I can make out the form of a...
What the hell is...
I don't get too far into that line of thought. No few seconds after my words have slipped out, without any word of warning, while I'm still trying to make a sense of what it is. Before we check that, let me see what you've have written, Souls. Well, aren't that a fun situation? And troublesome. Also, no records for them. Right. Don't you guys share records anyway? Anyway. The figure moves. A moment paralysis hits me when she stops right in front of the camera. Like a damn rookie, I go still in the face of danger. I definitely haven't been trained to handle the supernatural, and this is one, isn't it? And... oh fuck! Her eyes bore into me. The malice in them piercing. Even beyond the screen, it's enough to make me go numb. Only about crashing to the floor when my hand accidentally takes a swipe at it, snaps me out of the trance, reminding me that I'm not the only one here. Isabella! It seems she hasn't noticed anything yet. Am I the only one seeing this? In any case, whatever's happening, I have to get her out. Gathering my wits, I quickly reach for my phone. Yeah, they do love lying. It takes but all 2 seconds before she answers. There's no time for relief.
Did you really have to call? We're practically on the same floor.
Get out of there.
What? Why are you...
Out. Get out. I'll meet you in the elevator. Just
You're creeping me out, Ash.
get yourself out of that place, now!
Without second thought, I back away from the controls from the room, ready to be done with this place. But before my foot even moves, she disappears.
Son of a-
She became the ring! Instincts instantly take over and my hand quickly reaches for the gun at my side, only to meet empty air. A mistake that cost me a few precious seconds, while the paperwork I brought with me threatens to scatter everywhere at the same time. Gathering everything up myself once more, with no weapons to protect myself, my sense of self-preservation kicks in next and I lunge towards the door. I sprint across the office without daring to look back. Isabel is already waiting at the elevators by the time I make it out of the office. Worry creases her eyebrows upon glancing at me, but I don't have time to answer the questions in her eyes. As soon as I reach her, I grab her arm, practically throw the two of us into the open elevator and slam the button for the ground floor. A sigh of relief escapes me when the elevator starts to descend. The clicking noise fades off into the distance. Besides me, Isabella shifts, moving the stack of papers under her arm while she takes in my appearance. Concerns in her eyes, though all I offer her is a small gesture of my hand while I attempt to compose myself. Brief. Did the bonk work? Did nothing happen? Yes, if nothing happened, I'm not surprised. I think the whole thing is just broken. No hammer. As I thought, I initially thought that there was something wrong with my setup, but I think it's just the whole damn thing is broken. So, all I can do about that for now is wait. Because I doubt I can just revert to an earlier version. Let me take a one quick last look. It could be a new setting that I need to adjust or something. But last time I only had to just connect it to Twitch and be done with it. There was no need for anything else. Well, anyway, back to the horror. Breathe. In, out.
Why are we in such a hurry?
We need to get out of this place. Did you get everything?
Look at Ashton being scared. That's a rare sight.
Yeah, it's all here. But really, you don't look too good. What's wrong, Ash?
I'll be fine. I was in the security room. From the monitors, there was a fucking...
Oh, fuck. The rest of what I'm about to say dies on my tongue when the elevator stops and doors open too. There's a moment's pause while we take in our surroundings. Confusion's understandably there.
Come on! They should just replace this whole thing.
No, I'm quite sure I pressed for the ground floor.
Right? But it's just as Isabel said, the elevator always did have problems when I visited in the past. Often she becomes so angry when we try to get to her floor and she'll have to repeatedly smash the button for the elevator to even move. There was always a good laugh. I wasn't too worried then. Now, from the distance, beyond the light's reach, the noise echoes in my ears along with the rapid pounding in my chest. Isabella stiffens and her eyes grow wide at the sound. Gingerly, she reaches to grab the hem of my sleeve and grip it hard, tight enough for her fingernails to take through. Her eye searches wildly for the source of the sound while I stand protectively in front of her.
Ash, did you hear that?
Anyone there? I can hear you moving from here. Show yourself.
No response. No response, only the soft sound of something scurrying around the floor and walls in slow, deliberate movements. Faint, though still audible enough in this hush. Until it stops. A moment.
We need to go, Ash. We have to.
And then... This time, I'm certain it isn't my imagination. Against my training, my whole body freezes. Hands still in mid-press on the button, eyes going wide while waiting for any sort of movement from the further back, and ears trained for the source of the sound. I can't even offer Isabella any reassurances. As much as I hate to admit it, dread has seeped into every nerve in my body. And the blasted elevator still won't work.
This isn't in my fucking training manual.
Ash, we need to leave. I know that sound. Ash, please, get the elevator.
Another series of something against the ground. A laughter, and all of a sudden she's just there. Like a twisted spider, she stares at it, a look of hunger in her eyes and venom in the twisted manner she smiles. A glee she has well earned. With her damn flies that have been dropped right onto the spider's web.
Ashton!
Damn it! Damn it!
Without warning, she moves, mocking me with each unhurried crawl she takes, knowing I'm at her mercy.
Fucking hell!
Ashton, the door! The door!
Our lives are the hands of a crummy elevator, literally hanging between life and death. We're not going to die here. Not in a damn elevator. When all kitties without skipping in normal mode. Oh my god. As if a divine powers hurt me from swearing up a storm in my head, the doors close just as the thing looms near. Did you see how close I was to dying? Soon the elevator, the blasted thing, is headed up. Isabel's knees buckle in relief. In two ticks, she's hugging herself without any care of the mess of the papers, the folders she has dropped on the floor in her panic. She draws in one ragged breath after another, each one brimming with nothing but relief. And this is the most I've been tired in my whole damn life. Not during training, when my superior first asked me to drop 100. Not after a stakeout, but after smashing a fucking elevator button repeatedly. I slammed to the ground beside her, worn out, but I don't let myself feel relief again. Not until we're out of here. Isabella seems to be in the same mind as she looks to me. Still, I find myself sharing a shaky laugh with her.
We're okay. We're fine. Right?
Yeah, we're good. Alive. Fuck, we should have taken the goddamn stairs.
Twice I've seen it, thrice if I include the party. Unless I'm tripping balls without realizing it, there's no doubt in my mind this is actually happening. I don't want to believe it, but with the truth staring at me in the face, it'll be stupidity to deny the reality of the matter. So much happened this day. Ashton and Isabella beat a quick exit after getting what they needed, making sure not to leave evidence of their break-in. On their way out, however, the elevator malfunctioned and dropped them into the building's basement parking instead, where a familiar face welcomed them. As soon as the lift hits the ground floor, we hightail out of the building, Seb sound asleep when we pass by his station. However, in the face of what we've seen, everything that I've faced tonight, we really can't care less who will still see us on our way out. The sooner we get away from this place, the farther the better. I'm just not sure if that means being safe. She almost got us, damn it. The fucking thing almost had us. Shit, it was only by luck that we managed to get the fucking elevator unstuck. Had the blasted thing not worked in the last second. I need some air. Fresh, breathable air that doesn't stink like death and gore all at once. I'm panicking. Christ, losing focus. Another person here, I can't afford that right now. Isabella hasn't said anything, but I know she's more shaken than I am. I can't lose up when another person's depending on me.
Remember your training, Frey.
Another deep breath, and soon I'm starting the engines and driving us off. After the little incident, somewhere open would be good. Someplace I won't get trapped. Luxburn Park brings welcome relief, though only by some. The chill that has seeped in my bones is still there, furling and unfurling underneath my skin. If I don't move, if I don't busy myself with anything, soon my brain will go haywire. It's the last thing I want to happen when there are plenty of things to do. But this already answers all of it, doesn't it? Those debts? Just how many copies of the letter are out there? Isabella can't have the only one if the other people are also getting cursed, because it's not the letter. It's a red herring. Could it be that the one that she has shown us is just one of 5? Maybe even more? The whole pass this to 5 people business is ridiculous, but at this point, is it still? All in all, we found 21 people who might have read the letter. 7 of them deceased, 8 if we count Cooper. And that's only with what we can find right now. We have no idea how the contractors and specialists hired from the outside the company are doing. If we are in any way affected, how many more people are suffering? How many are missing? How many are dead? Can I still even blame the Wrights for this? If anything, they might be in danger as well. I don't think I wish upon a curse upon anyone, no matter how big of a douchebag Luke Wright is. You can't, Aston. But I can! There's also that woman. How do we get out of this mess? How do we get away from her? Still so many things we need to look into. Yet all my body wants to do is pace, burn out whatever excess energy there is in me.
Ashton, I'm getting dizzy. Will you sit down?
It's the first time Isabella has said anything. She's been sitting quietly since we dropped here. Better and less distracted than watching her nervous habits, I suppose. She certainly seems calm now. Too calm, in fact, for someone who has been seeing something terrible. But it's been more than a week for her already. People do get desensitized to things at some point. Even someone like Isabella. Who knows what's going on inside her head, though? Inside mine, there are too many, and none of them would sit still.
I'm not going crazy, am I? I saw that. I'm pretty sure I saw that. I didn't inhale anything weird. Jeez, shit. Shit. Isabella, please tell me that wasn't...
What I'm not expecting when I turn to her is mirth. One that she could barely contain.
You're laughing. Why are you laughing?
I'm not quite sure what she sees in my face, but in the next second, a laugh suddenly burst out from her.
I'm so sorry. It's just that you should have seen the look on your face back there.
Yes, right. Sure. I'm not the one who's panicked. You almost ripped my arm off.
Yeah, but...
Isabella, this isn't funny. We could have ended up dead.
That woman almost got us. You forgot that line.
I know, I'm really sorry. But this is just too precious to miss. You really lost your shit for a moment there.
Indeed, that's a rare thing.
You're trying to get back at me, aren't you?
Well, I'm not the one who kept calling someone scaredy cat for years. How does it feel?
I'm not scared.
Really? Because it doesn't seem that way to me. At all.
I'm not, alright? I just don't know what to do right now.
Immediately after, a moment passes replaced by another tense silence. Laughter dies in her lips as everything sinks in. We're in deep shit and it has finally caught up and hit us like a ton of bricks. Hit me more than anyone. Because she has been warning us of this since day one and I'm the first person who brushed it off. Despite that, she still reaches out to me, tugging at my sleeve almost desperately. Her hands are trembling and there's a tremor in her voice when she speaks. Without a cheer, only fear remains. One that she has been burdened with from the beginning.
Still going to do something about it, right?
Of course.
Not just stand around and let that thing get us.
Unexpectedly, she leans her forehead against my arm and her grip on my sleeves tightens. There's a desperation in there, a quiet plea.
I don't lose anyone anymore, Ash.
I wish I could give her that promise, but with so many unknowns, so many things I don't understand about this, how could I? Why she still trusts that I can do something about this baffles me. It all feels wholly undeserved, considering the way I've treated her. Yet, despite my reluctance, I find myself returning her holding kind. A grasp, warm and light enough for comfort. Not a promise, but the closest thing to it. October 30th. Darkness blurs the edges of my vision. Black tendrils twist and coil around my limbs. Soft footfalls echo from the far distance, scurrying, scampering, moving in an odd rhythm with the sharp, piercing notes of her laughter. A scream threatens to burst. My throat closes off. Ever so slowly, a chill seeps into every nerve of my body, washing away every sensation in me, apart from one. There's only fear. Once again, her laughter echoes, a sound both bitter and unforgiving. It is the last thing I hear before she reaches for me. The ground trembles. The world slows to a stop. Morning breaks in a blurry mess of vivid shapes and colors. Oddly, there's no feeling of terror or confusion gripping me despite the vague images that has driven me from sleep. Awareness kicks in shortly, though slow and sluggish, as I blink away from the last remnants of unconscious from my eyes. The early morning light already streams through the open windows when the memory sets in and the room finally comes into focus. Isabella's apartment. Pushing myself upright, my eyes wander idly towards her prone form. She's hunched over the coffee table, both her arms under her head while she continues to rest. Then, to the chaos of papers and folders we left scattered over it, before the sleep has claimed both of us. We bunkered down here last night, after both our nerves had been calmed down, mine for the most part, staying together was an unspoken invitation. And anyway, I'm pretty sure that neither of us wants to remain alone when there's that woman. Is she still one in the first place? One that we normally call a human? Can it still feel guilt? Does it understand pain?
Fuck. I'd rather get charged for breaking and entering than mess with whatever that thing was any day.
Not that thing about this still matters, but all of our lives are in her hands. It's dangerous. If we don't do anything about her and this curse, we'll definitely be pushing Daisy soon. I can't let that happen. I've dallied on this long enough. Left all my friends in harm's way after the warnings they've all given me. Besides, beneath the terror and the adrenaline that keeps me running, knowing what lies ahead for Isabella makes it hard not to take action. The paper sitting on the edge of the table calls my attention, and this lied against my hand when I reach for it. It's got my eye the night before, but a lot we still need to go through. I've simply ignored it. The logo emblazoned at the top of the page, however, provides this paper a whole new meaning. Not for me, but definitely for her.
Scholarship grant, huh?
I've only heard her talk about this once or twice. Completing her degree, that is. She never goes about it in great detail, preferring to keep it to herself. Perhaps it's the fact that she thinks she's already too old to be chasing after it. It's been 5 years after all, but I've caught enough snippets of conversation between her and Zack to know she has never given up on it. Despite how things have panned out with her father, she's one step closer to this part of her life. As silly as this may sound, coming from a friend, I'd like to give her a chance to have this. Whether this means stepping out of my comfort zone and figuring what the deal with this curse is, I'll do so. If only to see the same smile on her face from that time again. These days, the only moment she seems to show it is when she's asleep. Like right now, no matter how uncomfortable she appears. A smile of my own forms. Despite this, when I glance at her sleeping form again, just moved tense, her shoulders rising and falling in a slow, even rhythm with her breathing. You won't think she has any problems this way.
Only that were true.
Sighing, I place the paper back where I've gotten it, carefully so I don't make accidentally a wrinkle or damage it in some way, and finally push myself off my makeshift bed. Isabella shifts when I carry her off from the floor and over to the bed, but she doesn't wake, simply tucks herself comfortably under the covers. I pull her over her. Briefly though, she mumbles something to herself and draws in another deep breath.
Becca, Ashton's being dumb again.
She drifts back to deeper state of sleep after, like it hasn't been interrupted by slightest movement earlier. The small smile on her lips remain. When I find myself returning in kind,
Looks like a rock now.
it's better this way. Better to leave her in her dreams for a moment, which I hope are better than the ones I've had. She'll have time to worry about our problems later when she wakes up. For now, this'll be another thing I don't want to take away from her. A moment's respite, no matter how fleeting. She deserves it after everything she has been put through. What I put her through. In the meantime, I still have two other people in to check with. Isabella will definitely get a tissy if I don't check on them. Cold Luxburn air meets me upon stepping out the hallway. Not unusual in itself. This is what Luxburn weather is supposed to be. A bit cold, damp for the most part, and more often than not, terribly trapped with an occasional sprinkling of rain every few hours. The sky's so clear, but I'll give it a day or two before the weather takes a turn for the worse. I've complained about the awful rains for years, despite having lived here my entire life. Have to admit, though, seeing it return to the usual feels extremely reassuring. At least something's so normal in the world, when I can no longer think the same situation we're in. A nightmare. That's probably all this is. Usually I'll say, I've been through worse. But that's simply another lie I've been told to myself, isn't it? And I've fed myself a great deal of lies through the years, so I won't have to think about it the next day. Maybe I won't even have this problem if I haven't been running away and ignoring things, hiding them someplace no one will see, because I've since believed doing so is a show of weakness.
What the fuck do I know about ghosts, though?
What does Zach? What does Rebecca? Zeman has shown me photographs, mentioned weird things happening around him these past few days. Bottom line, he likely knows as much about this as I do. Why else would he approach me? The guy who knows stuff, according to him. In the end, all I've done is give him the brush off. Some reliable guy I am. Hell, Rebecca's probably in the same boat. Grasping for anything that might provide an answer. A way out of this. What can any of us do? And all of us lacks any understanding of what's happening. One thing's clear about this, however. That thing is after us because of the letter. Both Rebecca and Zach have seen it too. She will go after them as well. Yet here I am, walking up to Becca's door, one slow step at a time. A stalling tactic to allow myself some time to put the mess in my head in a better order. How to phrase this? When there's a 90% chance she'll still pissed about the whole different matter. It's the only reason we didn't check on her last night, aside from the ungodly hour Isabella and I arrived. Will only alarm her by showing up in her home in the middle of the night acting like babbling lunatics, and her anger can last quite a while. These days, it seems that the only one she can easily forgive is Isabella, but even with her, Becca's fuming still takes hours. I run my hand through my hair and straighten out my jacket before knocking, once, twice, and 3 times just to make sure she has heard me, even if she is asleep. She's usually awake by now, though.
Hey, Becca, it's Ash. Open up. Don't tell me you're still in bed.
Seconds tick by, the answer from her, and the dread has started to creep up. I've been trained to handle dire situations. The feeling has been doing quite frequently since the last night. My mind begins to anticipate the worst, and the next minute, concerns has mixed in with my thoughts, and I bang my fist on the door, louder this time. She'll definitely be livid, but I'd rather face her wrath than a dead body.
Becca, it's Ash. There's something we need to talk about right away. Open up. I know you're...
Your girlfriend left early this morning, pretty boy. So, if you could do us a bloody favor and shut up, that'd be real fucking polite.
My hand pauses short of a landing of another heavy dock. From the other units, Rebecca's other neighbor peeks into his door, though I see nothing but a bundle of blankets. I'll say they need help from being devoured by the sheets, but it sounds like he's just fine. He's a huge asshole too. Course of action, so people like him won't ruin your day. Act like the nicest person on the planet. He's done me wonders when I was a rookie patrolling the streets. No need to match his temper.
Oh, did she say where she was going?
I don't know. She said something about meeting someone or something, in case Filipina girl over there asks. But what am I, her keeper? You know some people want to sleep in on a bloody Sunday, so keep it down.
Bad choice of words, neighbor.
Just looking forward to this weekend. Thanks, you damn git.
Well, there's no need to be an ass about it. I'll get out of here.
He slams his door shut without warning, but not before muttering a string of very colorful words about me. Probably thinks I won't hear him inside the four walls of this apartment.
Jerk.
And at the end of it, I sigh. So Rebecca's not here, must have missed her by an hour or so. At least she's not alone. She should be safe in theory. More so, if the person she's meeting is who I am thinking. Nevertheless, I can't help but worry. It's an easy thing continuing down increasingly darker lines of thought. To act brashly, to find out where she is and go straight there without deliberating on my actions first. There's Zach to boot. Rebecca's not alone, but I can't say the same for the big guy. A simple phone call to both of them should do the trick. It'll ease my nerves at any rate. It's better than rushing over to Zach's place or assuming Rebecca's whereabouts and finding out they're not where I've guessed they should be. Assuming the worst will come next, which I'd rather avoid this early. Any other reason, I won't bother them, but emergency begs for urgency. This is one, right? Even if it isn't, anxiety from concern dulls judgment. Something I most certainly can't afford to lose at any given time, especially right now. Any means to calm it will do wonders for the muddled mess my mind is already in. Pulling up my phone, I down through the screen until it ends up to a group with only Zach, Rebecca's and Isabella's numbers listed. Who the fuck is Abigail and why does she have such a horrifying image? The other people will say I keep too few friends. When they chance on this, to some extent it's true. I can easily name about 100 people I've acquainted with through the years. Colleagues, blockmates from uni, neighbors, those sort of people. They all come and go. But these three have chosen to stay for some reason, without wanting or asking for anything. Unlike the others, none has Zach's kindness, Rebecca's patience, nor the sincerity in Isabella's eyes. One day, these guys are just there, and the next thing I know, being with them eases it. That heavy, somber feeling lingering in the air when you stand alone in your apartment, or something as simple as spending your day off without anyone. I'll say it's loneliness, but this carries much more depth than that. If I can help it, I don't want to lose any of them to this stupid curse. A phone call may be the last may be the least comforting thing at the moment. Honestly, I prefer to be in the same room with them right now, but I'll take what I can. Becca first. She'll get angry at me for worrying about her. She isn't some helpless damsel in distress after all. She isn't the shy little girl I knew when we were children. We're already far from the people we were back then. That's more than enough to check on her. I don't have to imagine her taking anything head on. She'll do it instead of asking for help when she needs it. I don't care if she gets mad at me, if only to know that she's fine. I ring. With the silence of the hallway, sound alone might be sharp enough to pierce through my ears. Another second passes. 2, 3. But when on the ninth ring, it goes straight to her voicemail. A cold feeling instantly lodges in my stomach.
Rebecca Gales here. You've reached my voicemail. Sorry if I can't get to you right now. Oh, and if this is Isabella, yes, you're free to reheat the food in my fridge. Otherwise, leave a message.
Probably just busy, that's all. Though I still barely manage to keep my voice even when I
Hey,
speak.
Becca, call me back when you're free. We need to talk. ASAP.
Becca will be alright. It's alright. She's safe. She's with someone. The event that woman shows up, she'll have someone with her. So when she'll be able to ask for help, she's safe. She can handle herself. Becca might have a fiery temper, but she knows when she's faced with something she can't handle herself. Rebecca will see my missed call, and she'll call me back. If I don't express it enough, Rebecca is someone I consider important to me. She's been my friend for the longest. Anybody else would have been fed up with me and left. The girl stuck by me, no matter how big of a jerk I've been. There's Zach and Isabella now too, of course. Always be thankful for having them around. Worst times before, however, Becca was there. No one believes when I say it, but I've surely had my awful moments as a bratty kid and a horrible teen. Issues, too many of them to count, and refuse to deal with them for a time. At least that's what Andrew likes to tell me. I tend to think nothing of it. It has mellowed down over the years thanks to the professor mostly. But at times, I do wonder if it still bothers me in the same way it did all those years ago. After all, I was terrible, especially around the time of my parents' separation. Looking back at it now, I had no reason to direct all my frustration towards everyone else. While I wasn't the kid who lashed out at anyone, preferring to keep it to myself and turning those negative feelings into more productive things, I've grown distant from the people because of it. From my old friends back in the old school and from the neighbors I've hung out before moving. A habit I've likely brought with me to my neighborhood. Into my adulthood. Help, brain's melting. I was just so angry with everyone and everything. All I kept thinking about was myself, wondering why me. In retrospect, I was a selfish little bastard who thought the world revolved around me. That I shouldn't have been going through it. I believed my behavior was entitled, that I had the right, but it's your fault for looking like an anime protagonist. Tough times, but she stuck with me, snapped me out of my little sulk, as she often phrases it, whenever she sees a chance to bring it up. She didn't tolerate my bullshit, but she didn't leave me alone either. If anything, the whole thing made her stick around. Her concern may have grown a bit overbearing as the years went by, but she's still an old friend. Nevertheless, I owe her a lot. That won't change.
Damn it. Where are you, Becca?
Another message left on her voicemail, and then on my third call, I hang up. For the time being, I can't do anything more than just wait for her calls to return my calls. Warning aimlessly won't get me anywhere. Zach, on the other hand, that guy attracts trouble no matter how much he tries to avoid it. Doesn't help how he hasn't been too hot lately with a lot of people. His mention of the plans yesterday didn't sit too well with me either. You might be the next responsible adult after Rebecca out of the four of us, but I've still got to check on the big guy. Make sure he's doing alright. At the very least, whatever he's been planning on doing, all I'm asking is for it not to be idiotic. He's a sensible guy, I'm sure. However, desperation clings and pushes people to do things, rational or irrational. It doesn't matter. Clear thinking flies out of the window the moment you're in danger, and I sincerely hope he hasn't found himself in a tricky situation. His phone doesn't even ring before he answers. Or his voicemail, at least.
Hey, it's Zach. Well, a voicemail anyway. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. So, just leave a message, yeah? And no, Ash, you're not allowed to lockpick your way into my apartment again. Just do what any other decent human being does and call if I'm not around. Thanks.
Did he turn it off? Why? I don't want to assume the worst yet. Maybe he has forgotten to charge it? Can't be. The guy can be a bit of a Boy Scout. Even more than I am a cop. He's the type who has an extra battery or power bank in his bag if he ever needs it. And he always does. Won't say anything or brag about it. He's got quite a roster of VIP freelance clients. He won't just leave his phone dead in case he's on the field, particularly when people will likely be looking for him. He always leaves his connections open whenever the clients or his friends need him. Zach is reliable like that.
Why isn't anyone answering?
His mobile in an out-of-range area sounds more plausible, although the thought of it doesn't completely shake off the unease. If I'm not mistaken, he should be at the mansion right now. Yeah, Rebecca's at the library, which is why she isn't answering. And Zach is looking for Ashton at the mansion. Like Rebecca and I, he took time to listen to what Isabel said. And if he didn't believe it, he was definitely the first one to offer help to try to do something. Hey, Carl. Is that a carrot? Have you finally upgraded from a chicken to a carrot? Hooray! You have gotten a carrot! And there's a chicken again. Hallucinating. I knew it. The ghost girl. That's real. But the carrots? No, that's just an impossibility. Now I'm seeing double. I'm seeing a chicken carrot. If he ends up trouble doing whatever it is, so help me, I'm going to. Well, I can't be rash. I'm aware of that. Been running the same reminder in my head since last night. But if something happens, I'm certain my reactions won't be pretty. The added guilt from those times I repeatedly dismissed him will surely haunt me.
Yo, Zach, call me back, alright? I wanted to check in and, yeah, just please call me back.
It's a usual joke between us when he says, the Watson to my Sherlock. I don't see him as some assistant to put aside until he's needed, like some people like to believe, though. He's not some pity friend I keep around to make myself look good.
If anything, he's the one who stayed by me out of pity.
Zach's the one who puts up with me the most of the time, even when he doesn't need to. It's not a case of a cool cop who helped out a minority. In truth, I was hard-headed, hot-tempered, and a reckless rookie. Up until I met him. It wasn't anything sudden, and some part of me is still that rookie. But I've grown, thanks to him. He tempers that part of me. Considering how our first impressions went, I'm lucky he stuck around. Becca and I may have spent a lot of years together as children, but Zach, he's the probably closest thing I call to a best friend. Though it's more than that. A camaraderie no words can express. He has my back, and I always have his. He's a brother I've never had the luck of ever having, Only a child, I
I
know.
have every reason to worry about my brother.
And Vegas David did say she went to meet with someone, no specific names. If I'm wrong and she's not with Professor Clark, then maybe it's with Zack. They've never been close, but it's not the kind of awkward friendship where meeting together remains out of the question. Regardless, I continue dialing his phone for another 3 times, like I've done with Becca's. In the end, after a third attempt with no one answering, I stop and move to cut the call with a ragged exhale.
Waiting game it is then.
I've been trained for those. Hell, I'm used to them. Just not when it comes to people I'm close to. Much as I keep reminding myself to maintain a level head, it's a whole different matter when it's someone you know. Personal feelings will likely get involved at some point. It's starting now, actually. With the anxious strings of coiling and uncoiling, causing a racket inside my stomach. And that's exactly when the line finally connects. Before he even speaks, my questions have already slipped out, including every pent-up worry and tension in my body.
Where are you?
The line's choppy, though. I can still make out the words he's saying. Nothing to worry about, then. This is someplace where the network coverage is shitty. Can't imagine where at this time of the morning, though. Did he go out for a jog?
Was that Ash? Could you repeat that? Signal shitty here.
I asked, where are you? Hell, Zack, I've been calling your number for a good 20 minutes now. What kind of shithole did you get into?
I meant that to sound as friendly as possible to keep things light, at least. Instead, only the frustration shows in my tone.
Good morning to you, too. I should be asking you that question. I've been looking all over the mansion for you. I thought you'd be...
What mansion?
Do I really need to answer that?
Why are you even...
Please don't tell me that's his plan. A morning visit to the mansion where Luke Wright is. Of all the big-headed things to do right now, it's the best thing he can come up with. Breaking and entering? I've got plenty of reasons to rail at him right now. Although no matter how much I want to give him the piece of my mind, unfortunately, it's not the time.
No, wait. Just get your ass to Isabella's place and hurry.
He pauses a moment, a second of indecision while he seems to contemplate his options.
How urgent is this?
In truth, the questions, the hesitance and the indecision in his voice has caught me completely off guard, and understanding dawns on me. His decision to go there isn't one born out of stupid impulse. He must have found something. However, no matter how urgent it is, he still shouldn't have gone there, alone at that. Despite myself, in that split second of comprehension, I allow it to show. A weakness. A simple request of brimming with every unease and disquiet causing turmoil within me since last night. It bears itself as hope that he'll understand, even though the unstable signal, or whatever keeps him there, he'll be willing to set it aside for now.
Pressing enough for you to stop asking questions and get yourself here. Please, Zack.
Silence fills the other end of the line again. For a long moment, I assume he won't heed it and I'll have to drive there myself, just to try and keep him away from whatever dangers he's skirting. Thankfully, he agrees.
I'll be there in a few. An hour or 2 tops.
Thanks. I'll see you.
The relief washes over me as soon as the call ends. Normally I don't let myself moments respite in times like this, but I stay alert. Rebecca's still out there. Has yet to return any of my messages. For the moment, I relish in it. This is probably the first time I've permitted myself to do so since last night. Even the muscles in my shoulders have been complaining from all the tension I've taken in on. It still annoys me that all I can do right now is grit my teeth and trudge back to Isabella's apartment. Useless. That's what I am in the face of this. A mad dash around Luxburn and Ansem isn't going to help things. It's not like I'll simply stumble across them on the side of the road during a drive. The city's too big a place for one person to go searching for only 2 people. I'll be lucky if I even glimpse at the hair of them around them. With a last hopeful glance towards the open skies, I slip back into Isabella's apartment and close the door behind me. I might have already grown used to this, but waiting will always be the hardest part. More so when it's people you care about.
You're up early. I thought you left.
This is not the first time I've seen Isabella like this. Standing casually in her kitchenette, a ladle in hand, keeping a breath on whatever's stewing on the stove, while humming a soft tune under her breath. 5 years ago, it has become a common sight after 3 of them, including Zach and Rebecca, found a mutual interest in cooking. After that, whenever our schedule allows it, one of them will invite everyone to dinner and lunch instead of eating out. Rebecca prefers it that way. Healthier, she claims. Zach's just too happy to be able to cook for everyone. Isabella, on the other hand, as long as there's food, she's happy. Me? I've been banned from the kitchen ever since the pressure cooker incident. Easier times, good times. Right now, however, the scene brings an odd sense of normalcy. A strange fit with all the things going on around us. Not unwelcome, just bizarre, I suppose. Isabella doesn't follow up her question earlier, but she does raise an eyebrow at my way when I take too long to answer. For that, I only offer a casual shrug in response and a short answer.
Check with Zach and Rebecca. I'm just waiting to hear back from them.
I'll add a quip or two for her if the timing of the joke isn't off or doing won't be inappropriate. I don't want to alarm her either. There's no reason to. Yet. Until Zach gets here or until I've received a answer from Rebecca, whichever comes first. Nevertheless, it's clear she has plenty of questions. It's right there in the subtle crease between her eyebrows and the inquisitive gleam in her eyes. Curious as she is, though, she decides against voicing all of her questions out. Instead, she shifts her attention back to the stove and gestures vaguely with her hand in the Countess' direction.
Well, if we're going to wait for them, don't stand around there. It's getting distracting.
You're just cooking. How am I distracting?
I don't know. Something might explode again, maybe. Zach's kitchen ban for you is also in effect here, you know. Now shoo, go. Stop hovering. You'll ruin the food. I'll be done here soon.
She leaves no room for an argument, swatting the ladle at me, and just like that, I've been kicked out of the kitchen. Left with nothing else to do, I drift back to her tiny living space and slump down to the couch. Closing my eyes, I allowed the noise from the television to guide my thoughts. The ones I've been keeping at bay, freeing them from the cage I've built around them, so I won't have to think. One by one, they trickle back into my consciousness, each more frightening and unnerving than the other. So many things going on. So many things happening. The papers we got from the BRC doesn't provide any comfort either. Seriously, is there even a point of those after last night? What will asking those people do? If anything, this only proved there might be more copies of that damn piece of paper. We have one here? But how many exactly is there out there? More importantly, how do we get out of this stupid mess?
Ashton.
Damn it, I haven't felt this kind of bone-weary exhaustion in
I
years.
want to think what might happen next in case I miss something. Shit.
Rebecca, Zach,
They're all
Isabella.
depending on me and...
Ash!
My voice snaps me out of my thoughts, abruptly wiping away everything running ragged inside my head. Suddenly, Isabella's still crouching in front of me while I crack my eye open. I haven't noticed the exact moment when I bent over and buried my head in my hands. Figures why she's staring at me like I fainted or something. The crease in her eyebrows grows deeper at the lack of my response. Although she's merely staring at me without saying a word, expression says everything. So much for not trying to alarm her with bad news.
Sorry, I just spaced out for a moment. Don't mind me.
For a brief moment, she seems to accept that. Quietly, she shifts, stands up, and takes the empty space right beside me. All done without a single comment. Then, the next thing I know, she's gently pushing the ball in my hands. The scent reaches me first, before I've gotten a chance to take in what she had just handed me. I faint sweet smell of cocoa wafts from the dish, calming, comforting, despite the multitude of things bothering me. It certainly smells like the kind of food you'd eat on a rainy day. Though from the get-go, it doesn't look appetizing. What is this even? Porridge? Why would you put chocolate in it? And milk drizzled on top? I'm sorry. Ash? Have you never had chocolate porridge? Seriously? Never done that. I do not remember how it was made, but I assure you, it's personally one of the most delicious form of porridge there can be. Albeit unhealthy, but that's beside the point. I think it's something to do with cocoa powder. I can't remember. It's been years. She tells me my tastes are weird, and yet here she is, handing me something equally as strange. In fact, she's already started digging into hers. I'm just not sure if the taste will be equally as appealing. Baffled, I glance her way. She offers no immediate answer, simply continues eating as if she hasn't done so in a week, with her focus solely on the television. She's not watching, however, just listening. The background noise, the voices from it seems too cheerful. A welcome distraction, if anything. It's only after she has finished a half of the bowl that she acknowledged the question in my eyes. With a sigh, she cradles the dish on her lap and looks down at it. Briefly, her lips part and closes. A hesitation, though I don't push her. There's a distant air on her, as if she has remembered something that warrants a poignant thought. When she speaks at last, it's a tone too careful, like she's still weighing her words, considering the proper phrasing for it. Yet, sincerity underlies each syllable once they're out in the open.
You should eat. Back at home, Mama would never let us leave the house if we hadn't eaten breakfast yet. Even Papa has got an earful when he tried. So eat. You'll need it.
She returns to her food afterwards, but I can only stare at the one she has profaned not a few minutes ago. Warming against my hands, tempting me to take a bite. Not that I don't appreciate this, but what good will this do? Zack and Rebecca both out there. Who knows what that ghost... when that ghost will show up again. Even our dreams, we're not safe. That's it, isn't it? We don't know when, and at the present, we have a chance at respite. Maybe the only we'll have. Even if it's as mundane as sharing food between us, quietly just sitting side by side like this, without exchanging any words. The intent hangs unspoken in the air, something that probably goes as far back as the second she offered food. Still in the end, Isabella never pushes it. Rather, she lets her own silence convey her hope.
Thank you.
Eat the damn thing. After close call, Ashton spent the night with Isabella only to be kept awake by nightmares. At another loss, and with all of his beliefs overturned, Ashton decides to check on Zachary and Rebecca. Unfortunately, only Zachary returned his calls. Look at the Isabella relationships. If only we could bring Rebecca up as well. The words roll off my tongue, awkward and unfamiliar, far removed from those jests and quips we've shared. Yet she has said this with a smile and nothing more, regardless of everything left unsaid. The sight of it brings comfort. More so than any dinner's offer of food can give. Though we both laughed to the suns after that As we finish our foods, there's ease in it. In this, the muffled sounds of locks been filtering into the room. The light streaming from her windows and the faint draft occasionally drifting in, catching the loose tendrils of her hair. In the way her voice falters when she tries to form words. Desperately, the horror looming over us, I find myself wishing for the minutes to slow, for the seconds to last. Ultimately, she's the one who breaks it. Softly, after a minute's pause, the words bumble under her breath. Sometimes, silence simply compels us to
I've
speak.
been wondering, before last night, before Mama told me the news. What if Papa passes away, despite everything? That sort of thing. I know it's not good to think about, but I also knew it was getting worse. Mama won't say anything, but I've always known that one day, he'll eventually.
She releases a sigh as her grip on the bowl she still holds tightens. There are no tears, but you might as well have them with how weak her voice falls. Are there even any left?
I don't know what I'm going to do. Before, I can easily say it's because of Papa. Now, I don't have anything.
You have that scholarship from Lux U.
Were you going through my personal papers while I was sleeping last night?
I don't really have to. You left it sitting in the open, right there on the table.
Like there's still anything to hide, she snatches it away from where I placed it back earlier. Except there's no anger or annoyance in her face when she looks at it and rereads every line with a pensive expression. After a short while, she folds it neatly along the creases and sets it back.
I don't even know if this will work out.
Well, if it doesn't, what about that exhibit you've been planning with Zach?
Do I even have to ask where you got that?
Zach sucks at lying. You have no idea how easy he is to read. It was all in his face when I asked about it. And anyway, if that doesn't pan out too.
I trail off, hesitating, measuring the weight of my next words. Tenuous they are, a part of me believes they're a burden, too heavy to impose upon her. Because no matter how much I want her to stay, we're not what ties her here. It'll be selfish to ask her that of her. More than anything, her family will always come first. I say it nevertheless, if only to let her know, no matter what her choice will be, there will be people whose lives here mere presence has changed. Mine, most of all.
You have us.
The words startle her to a pause, and slowly she turns to me, her eyes wide, disbelief all over her face. Oh boy. Before Rick Fit forces an apology up my throat, the expression dissolves to something I can't quite place. Something distinctly softer, more tender, familiar, almost in the same manner she glanced at me years ago, that day at the bridge. However, I don't get a chance to figure out what it all means for her. All of a sudden, a knock breaks the moment, and just as fast, both of our attention shifts towards the swords. Before things can get awkward fast, I stand over the door while muttering some flimsy excuse in the process.
I'll get that. It's probably Zach or Rebecca.
Really, I know we're in a pinch, but their timing can't get any worse. Unrelated frustrations aside, once I fling the door open, a whole chunk of stone that has been stuck in the pit of my stomach simultaneously unseats itself. There in the hallway stands Zach, his hand raised ready for another knock. Although he's not his most presentable at the moment, ruffled and drenched with sweat as he is, a relief quickly washes over me like a tide. He's still panting, but he pushes me aside and heads in. The second his feet cross the threshold, he scans the place, eyeing what little he can see in the room from the doorway. When he finds none of whatever he's looking for, he turns to me with a questioning look. One that has a hint of panic in
You
it.
said it was urgent. Did anything happen? Is it Becca? Bella?
Everyone's fine. Well, Becca's not here. She went somewhere this morning and hasn't answered any of my calls yet. But Isabella's...
I'm here, Zach. Morning.
His weight shifts at the same time. There's a stiff line as his shoulder eases, as Isabella walks up to us and welcomes him with a smile. He relaxes them, returns her greeting in kind as soon as he has let out a breath he has been holding and the tension finally off his body.
So, nothing's wrong? Why'd you call me here for then?
My explanation can wait. There's a lot of explaining to do. The fact that he went to Anselm alone, for some godforsaken reason, warrants a proper one. Ghost or not, he's already been given a warning. It frustrates me to no end that this might be the line he mentioned the last time he spoke. I get that he's worried about Hannah Wright, somehow they become friends, but that's not the issue here. Not when there's a murderous ghost who might be going after one of us at any given time. Sure, Zach made it here in one piece, but some dumb luck he's alright, and this one takes it off the list of people I need to worry about. Frankly, as annoyed as I am, I can't just stay angry at him when I look at the situation that way. Hell, if that call didn't connect in that exact minute, there might have been a chance he won't be standing here. This is a blessing in itself. There's some things that need to be discussed. Now the correct answer here would be to say that he promised he wouldn't do anything stupid. However, I'm not here to tank our relationships. Mac's relationship with Zachary. Except when I open my mouth, the only thing that spills from it is my own relief. Despite myself, despite the rational part of my brain screaming everything wrong about the Zach's neat little plan, we've had so many close calls within just a single night. Zach showing up in Isabella's doorstep, alive, whole, and unarmed. I might as well take comfort in that while I still can.
You're okay.
You did tell me not to do anything stupid.
Suddenly the whole room feels heavy, and all I'm able to do is drop down on the couch. My headache also tries to submerge in at the same moment, or perhaps this is what the release from anxiety feels like. Regardless, I reach up my hand against the bridge of my nose, even though it'll likely do nothing to alleviate the impending pain.
Christ, you were right there! We have this stupid curse thing going on, and you were right there! You just walked up inside a private property! Those people can easily sue you for breaking and entering, and that's the least of it.
I know, Ash. But I can't just leave things as they are. I've got to do something. I know you're not very fond of the Wrights, but they don't deserve it if something bad happens.
Except Luke.
Hannah most of all.
God damn it, Zach, I was worried.
Unexpectedly, he laughs. Not a half-hearted sort he makes when he's awkward or coming up with an excuse. A genuine one. Before my annoyance grows again and I snap at him, though, he suddenly catches me with a headlock. His arms looping around my neck while he grinds his knuckles against my skull. Helpless, I squirm under his protest. Even then, it's hard to do so when you're up against a 6-footer.
Zach!
Aw, he's worried. Why didn't you say so? That cool act ain't gonna fool me anymore.
Let go!
He relents, soon enough, though only after he's done ample damage to my hair. I hate it when he does that. But for a few moments there, the tense mood finally lightened up and everything felt like it used to be before the whole mess began. Makes appreciating little moments like this easier. Still,
Seriously, Zach, why are you even there?
Told you already. I was looking for you.
Why would I even go there?
Well, you mentioned a plan with Isabella here. I assume that's where you guys went, since that's where she found the letter. Sorry, I was really at a dead end.
the logic in it stuns me into silence, to say the least. Then I remember his hesitance, the tone he has taken before agreeing to go there. Go here, and all at once my anger from what he's done wanes. After leaving their friends with an urgent message, Ashton returned to the Isabella's apartment. He found the girl already up and about, cooking. Seeing he's exhausted, Isabella reminded him that he should take care of himself first and offered him food. With muttered thanks, he accepted. A terrified Zachary... No, we've already read that one. Zachary arrived to Samuel, tired and frazzled, upon learning that he had come from the Ermengarde mansion this morning. Ashton could only express his relief that he was safe. The amused Zachary teased him for worrying, much to the other man's embarrassment. And just after that, Rebecca managed to escape the monster.
You could have called me.
I did.
I didn't receive any and my phone was with me.
You're kidding, right? I was at it the whole night.
The whole atmosphere in the room changes into heartbeats. Back again to the tension-riddled one plaguing us. Zachary stares at me like I've grown out of head. Then gradually he shifts his attention to Isabella. The expression in his eyes, questioning, asking for confirmation. Like my word can't be trusted. Not that I'm holding it against him. I can't even believe the things coming out of my mouth these past few hours. Meanwhile, Isabella stays quiet. It's been like that for some time. She looks like she wants to disappear right now. Guilt, frustration, anger, fear, all of it flashes fleetingly across her face before it melts away under an expression of worry.
Please tell me he's joking. You were there?
No, we really didn't get any. Everything was quiet last night. But Zach, at BRC, Ashton and I saw...
She never gets to finish that.
What's up, I'm Ash from Deluxe City.
Abruptly, my phone rings again, blaring its badly sang ringtone throughout the whole room. One of them paused, waiting when I pull up to check the caller ID.
I'll tell her to get here as soon as she can.
Without a word, I slip out of the room and answer the call. However, the tune she assumes isn't what I'm hoping to hear.
Are you there?
Ragged, bit out of breath, there's a tinge of urgency in it. Souls? Why are you poking me? Are you trying to head pat me despite the fact that it's not working? I wish it was working. But no. Every bit of it just broken.
Becca, where?
I got your message. What happened?
Nothing. Yet. Where are you?
Downtown. I had to make a quick visit to the library. Listen, Ash, about that thing Isabella has been talking about. There's something you guys need to...
Please tell me you didn't... Whatever. Save it for later. I'm at Salemwell. If you can get here as soon as possible, that'd be really great. This is... related to that.
You're there? Is Isabella with you?
Yeah, Zach too.
With a quick press of a button, I switch on the loudspeakers and step back into Isabella's apartment. I held the phone out towards the two, giving it 2 shakes, urging them to speak. Both of them still carrying worried looks on their faces. This should ease that.
Rebecca's asking for you two.
Becca? Is she okay? Hey, Becca!
Hello, Rebecca. Odd morning we having, eh?
Hey, you two. What's happening over there? Is this something I should be worried about?
We'll tell you once you get here. Please, hurry.
I don't like the sound of that, Ash. But I'm on my way. Give me a few minutes. I'm driving.
She mumbles a goodbye, then hangs up. Becca's last precedent to account for, yet that call left an even more strange tension in the room. Thankfully, we don't have to linger in it for long. It only takes a matter of minutes to get here, and the second she steps into the room, Isabella clings to her.
I'm so glad you're okay. Ashton checked on you this morning, but
Ensure that all of your friends are safe and accounted for. Perfect.
he did? I'm sorry, I was in a hurry. I didn't have time to drop by and let you know.
It doesn't matter. What's important is you're here.
Whether burned to a crisp or brutally murdered somewhere, whole, alive, although she seems a bit shaken, doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. At least now, I can relax, ease the pressure off my shoulders, if only by some. The minute Isabella pulls away from her, she winches. A small reaction, the younger woman doesn't even catch it. It sets a precedence for careful observation nevertheless. A closer look at her reveals much more disheveled than usual. Hair in a bit of a mess, probably flattened in a hurry. The back of her dress also shows the stains of a dirt in a place it rarely gets into. She's also leaning more into the left arm. She's right-handed. Perhaps the most telling is how slight limp she has. Noticeable since Isabella leads her into the room. It all spouts a hatful of questions. What exactly happened and how she ended up in that state? Pretty sure a simple trip to the library won't do that. I grab for her arm before she can walk past, carefully to avoid hurting her, in case there really is an injury. Seems like it at the first glance, we can't be sure until a careful examination has been made. I suspect some bruising at least. Although, minor internal fractures aren't out of the equation. They have a nasty way of staying hidden. Sure enough, Becca tenses immediately upon contact. Tries to pull back, although the sudden gesture only elicits another winch, forcing her and Isabella to halt. Both of them turn to me almost the same time, their eyes searching mine for answers. Rebecca, for her part, doesn't appear quite as pleased with the interruption. But the fact someone has brought it to light. Are you alright?
Okay, you're limping.
I need some relationship up. It's the fact that she tries to hide it. This time she squirms from my grasp, and it's enough force she almost stumbles back if Zack hasn't caught her by the elbow. Even with the two more people shooting her concerned looks, she's swift to shrug it off.
It's fine. I just had a little accident.
Little accident. Hard to believe when her other arm is nursing the supposedly fine arm. Isabella doesn't buy any of it either.
Library? Well, yeah. It kinda caught me off guard.
Something's happened there, hasn't it?
I'll have to elaborate on the question further. Shortly she goes very still and the hand placed over her right arm shifts ever so slightly. Its grip on the limb tightening. Not too firm to hurt, but just enough for a gesture to comfort for herself. Finally, she casts a glance at everyone in the room. But only the one she spares for Isabella lingers longer. In that moment, something unspoken passes between them. An understanding. It strikes me a second later how utterly familiar her expression is. It's the same one I've seen far too many times in Isabella. Since that day at the movie house, every time her attempts to warn us have been so rudely dismissed.
Let me see.
Can we? We have to check if it's bad.
Rebecca hesitates for a moment. Then, after a minute of consideration, she sighs and reaches the hem of her sleeve. Makes it just enough for Isabella to take a good look at it. Not swollen, but a large portion of the skin started to turn an ugly shade of purple.
Oh, that is gonna be one hell of a nasty bruise.
Tell me about it. It was a library cart that hit me. You know, the old metal ones they keep near the history section.
Ouch! Like I said, nasty.
But she's there? She went after you. Yeah, I was in the archives, looking something up. Suddenly, she was just there. Well, she was using my own students against me. What kind of terrible person does that? Oh, it makes my blood boil.
You should have just ran. That woman's not something you can hit with a book.
Laugh it up, Ashton. I did. Then the bloody cart came out of nowhere. And you know what? If it weren't for a damn book, I would be dead by now.
Ashton and Isabella's relief, Rebecca called back later. Soon she showed up at Salem Mill looking worse for wear. When the detective asked about it, worried that all the redhead could give was a frustrated answer. Fortunately, before the topic turned grim, Isabella stepped in. Dead. Another close call. Another would have. Another one we would have narrowly avoided. How long can we keep this up? We're bound to break at one point. No human being with a sane mind can last like this. It's a miracle Isabella hasn't cracked yet. After all, she was the one who found that letter. I expected her to have caved in by now, yet her voice, calm and composed in the face of this, is what cuts through the thick
I'll
air.
get a cold compress for that arm. You guys take a seat first. Ashton and I, we have a lot of things to talk about.
That marks the end of it, at least for the time being. As soon as Isabella returns and hands Rebecca the cold compress she promised, we get straight down to business. Surprisingly easy, considering the rigid air in the room. Although there has been some tense fumbling for the words at first, the whole conversation in steam was what happened last night at BRC has been put on the table. All at once, evidence being brushed off, carelessly ignored, and rudely dismissed have been laid out to a close scrutiny. Zach's encounter with the woman in his dreams, Rebecca's close process with the death every time she appears, the dread, the fear, the terror she brings out even in the bravest of us. Because no matter how bleak this all seems, there must be a way out of this. There has to be. Logic be damned. Or at least that's what Isabella and I would like to believe. Give me a second. Then, Eva's cold morning light shift to a warm hues of late afternoon and eventually night. None of this still makes a fucking damn sense. Darkness has fallen. We're still nowhere near figuring things out. If anything, we're more at a loss we've ever been since we even started this. Next thing I know, frustration rears its ugly head and the sheets of paper I've been holding smacks the table harder than I intended. The sound of it echoes loudly in the small room, and everybody simply falls silent. Along with it, a release of another long-held breath. Perhaps the 100th since this
We aren't
morning.
getting anywhere at this rate.
Don't just drop it. There must be something in this we aren't seeing yet.
It's an odd thing to hear from her. The very words I've been telling myself every single time I find myself facing a dead end. We can use a little bit of optimism right now, I guess.
I know, but what are we supposed to be looking at here in the first place?
Well, we already looked through those files. You're the one that picked it out last night, right?
All of them? I'm pretty sure every person we've checked in there isn't necessarily involved. One client possibly died of old age. Remember, you found that dumb paper.
Not so dumb if it can kill all of us.
Very funny, Z-Man. Anyway, like I said, you discovered that paper right before the open house. No one else was allowed inside during that time. It's too broad of a scope if we include every single person. In fact, the only notable ones are C and Jean Marie.
But if we're going to include them in the count, shouldn't there have been more than enough people to end this fucking curse already? How does this thing even work?
Now, okay, they went in and out of this place. But no, you still don't get it. What I'm trying to say about those clients is...
Shouldn't we look into the mansion too? That's where the letter came from. That's where she came from. Maybe it's just as the professor says.
He did tell me there might be more to this than what I might be thinking.
Yeah. I mean, look at all this stuff Rebecca brought with her. Apparently our teachers have been lying to us all these years. So who knows?
Hey, now don't blame us. Blame the bloody books they wrote.
Quietly, Isabella reaches for one of the papers Rebecca has brought with her and quietly inspects the words printed on the page. A copy of an old newsprint from even before the city has been founded. Her eyes narrows with each line that passes, lingers at the illustration of the noble woman's servant.
Why do they have to keep this in the restricted section?
Rebecca merely shrugs at an inquiry, but her annoyance seeps through her answer.
How should I know? I wasn't even aware we have archives that go as far back as this. This is before the city was even founded. As a matter of fact, if it weren't for Andrew's help, I wouldn't have gotten my hands on any of it. Maybe they didn't think it would be important to talk about it. After all, this is more Anselm's than ours.
That or some old bugger's hiding something.
Why else would this tell a completely different story? Revising what's written seems a useless endeavor on its own when it has nothing to gain from it. Indeed, it seems odd that they just hid that info, especially if I remember some of it was good. But despite might as well mean what happened in the mansion years ago also acquaints into all of this. And the letter Isabel found? It's at the heart of it. The why and the how is what we're missing here. If I'm going to go by what Andrew told Zack, the connection between the letter and the mansion's curse may run deeper than what we've initially thought. We want people to figure this out without looking into the otter. Fuck. How do I? The mansion's private property now. Can't just waltz in there. I'd rather die before I even think of begging Wright to let me in and investigate the place. One thing's very clear after these last 2 days, however. We're not safe anywhere, and I have to act fast if I want to keep my own friends alive. We can't keep running away. Sooner or later she'll get us. Before that happens, I have to put an end to this. Sighing, I stand up and stretch out the kinks in my back after several hours of sitting. Might have been at this for too long. A break is needed. Time to let everything to sink in, or else we'll all burn out. I know I will. It's another thing I can't let happen when they're all counting on me like this. Of it unspoken, it's in their eyes as they look up at me, waiting.
We've been at this since morning. We should take a break for a few.
The rest of it never makes it out of my mouth as something heavy and grating sounds from the far end of the room. A harsh booming noise renders through the eardrums of everyone in the room. All at once, the three of them are on their feet, while I quickly palm my gun at the table. However, before I can pull it up and remove the safety, the whole racket stops. The stillness descends in the room, and amidst the sudden hush, the four of us exchange anxious glances. So much for a break.
Ashton, that might be...
Gather everything.
No questions asked. There was no time getting to work piling up the documents we've been reading through. Even Isabel's usually silent as she gathers everything in her arms, her own movements sharp and precise. a deep furrow in her brow. There's fear, but something hardened and urgent overshadows it. But the moment doesn't last. Before I can even finish, another noise ups the tension, already crippling the blaze. Suddenly the lights go out, and the wardrobe at the end of the room rattles, as if something inside begs for freedom. Cautiously, eyes glued to it, I take a step forward and I release the lock from my gun. I'm no trigger-happy person. I'm not even sure if this will work on a ghost. But right now, its smooth surface against my palm, with a trigger on my finger, provides the closest thing I have a relief as I approach the closet.
Finn, what are you doing?
I don't think that's a good idea. We should just...
Word as they are, they immediately stop at the slightest trace of my hand, but the edge is there still, while they all huddle in the space between the door and the room. In case this goes south, whatever I find inside, they have enough time and space to run from their position. In 2 deep breaths, I've crossed the room and stood in front of the closet. Whatever's inside has yet to stop trashing. Instead, is now moved into banging the door, louder and louder the longer I dally. Another shallow breath. I glance at my companions. I nod. Something creaks. Then, in the next moment, I'm grasping at the handles and swinging the doors wide open to reveal... nothing. Right away, I part the clothes hanging on it, and still none. No ghost, no woman, not a single trace of whoever's inside. Confused, I glance back at my companions, only to see them bearing the same expression on my face, and when you turn back, she's there. The noise has finally stopped, but I'm quite sure this is my imagination. Or maybe it is. I'm just too strung up in my head that I'm making things up. Whatever the case is, we need to get out of here as soon as possible. This only confirms we aren't safe anywhere. Without bothering the closet, I move back, ready to leave, adrenaline now coursing through every vein in my body. In the next second, I'm barking orders and...
Go. Everyone, we need to... Ah!
I'm sent sprawling on my back as something cold catches my ankle and yanks. The resulting fall knocks the wind out of me. Pain racks my whole spine and the back of my head as it collides against the floor, the force enough to dislodge my own brain from my skull. A moment lasts before the stars fade from my vision, and then I sense it. Cold tendrils swirling around my ankles, the smell of vile rot assaulting my nose, nauseating, sickening. A foul smell draining every feeling in my body. The moment her horrid laughter, still unpleasant and vicious as the last time I've heard it, reaches my ears, my eyes snap open. Perhaps it's just an experience. Or maybe my mind's still attempting to comprehend this. Regardless, the minute my eyes land on her, my whole body freezes, the gun in my hand turns useless as my grip on it slackens. It's the manner her gaze pours on me, I'll say. The utter hatred and malice. I've seen it loads of times. From suspects, mostly murderers who never regretted their actions despite being caught. This is the face of someone you can no longer reason with. And I know, the moment she laughs again and starts tracking me towards her, it's already going to be the...
Ashton, snap out of it!
No, I can't die here. Not yet. The haze fades from mind and instincts kick in there and then.
Everyone out! Get out! Get out of here!
With one powerful tug, I yank my foot out of her grip and scramble to my feet, ignoring the piercing wail she fills the room with. In a span of seconds, I'm gunning for the door, grabbing the wrist of the first person in my hand can reach, leaving everyone out. Into the hallway, down the flight of steps, and right inside my car. I waste no time flooring on the gas pedal, the second to last person closes the door behind them in a short while, I'm driving us out of Salemwell. I don't even entertain the thought of winding us down just yet. Even the last woman's painful cries fade into the night. With help of his friends, Ashton finds a way to free themselves from the curse. Tried to find a way to free themselves from the curse, piecing together what they currently know. Before they could figure it out, a ruckus coming from Isabel's closet broke the silence of the room. The dreary downpour starts off Monday. Although it doesn't last more than an hour, dark clouds lift just after the sun peaks over the horizon. Wait for this. The rain has significantly dampened the park's usual cheery vibe. Mornings like this often mark the start of another bad week. A race gone wrong, another investigation leading to a dead end, or some truly fucked up shit being called in. Like at one time I was dispatched to a scene where a guy gouges his eyeball out, and I almost ate it. I was a few chews away from swallowing it, in fact. Lost my dinner that day.
Sometimes.
Of course, I doubt anything can top getting cursed by a damn chain letter of all things. This is sort of stupid thing people pass along a prank through emails and text messages, for fuck's sake. A ghost chasing after you just puts the icing on that cake. So far, all I've done is run, snoop about, read stuff, and run again. It frustrates to no end. We're still no closer to an answer. My car reflects the state of mind it's in. Photocopies of documents litter every available surface, scattered all over the place, spilling from the passenger's side and into the back seat, making an entire mess of what little space there is. Not that I'm any better. My last shower was 20 hours ago. I haven't slept at all, and my last meal was that chocolate porridge thing Isabella offered. The way I am now, I'm definitely get a scolding. Rebecca will definitely give me an earful and tell me to take care of myself better, since I'm killing myself on the job. I can already hear Isabella's complaining how dark the bags under my eyes are getting, and about the reek and how I need a shower pronto.
I can rest easy when this is all over.
It's not that I can't feel the pang of hunger. With a woman chasing after you, it's difficult not to feel anything other than horror. The rush of adrenaline coursing through my veins in my desperation to survive. In fact, I can sense the ghost of her touch from the last night. The bony digits wound tightly around my ankle. That horrid smile she has on her as she pulls me closer. The memory enough to set a shiver up my spine and make me antsy. Perhaps the only thing comforting about this is the sight of my gun nearby. From my dashboard, sunlight glints off Ophelia's surface. Normally I keep it hidden in the compartment, which from police regulations only allows authorized people to carry firearms, and even those are limited. But that is actually surprising that he's allowed to carry a firearm. Because last time I checked, the UK police basically works that they're only allowed to pull out the guns in a dire situation. And when I say pull, they get it from the armory. I do have that authorization, but I never really saw the need to use it for its use, when the standard issue tasers are more than good enough to incapacitate anyone. If not, I can always throw them on their back. Those judo lessons Dad forced me to get as a kid has its uses too. On a ghost though, all those will probably yield the same result. They're all useless. I might as well use a stick. However, it's the feeling of ease I'm after, or what little of it I can gather from it. The awareness that I, at least, have something to protect myself with in case things go wrong. That I can still protect the people who are depending on me despite the missteps I've taken. It doesn't take the edge off, though. The feeling that your whole body has been strained far beyond its capacity. Frankly, I'm already running out of steam. The only thing pushing me right now is knowing someone's still depending on me. The stretch is still in order, though. I've been sitting here since last night. Soon I step out of my car, closing it behind me with a thud as I take in my surroundings. The rain did wonders. The morning air seems crisper and cooler than it has ever been for days. Once the weather seems to be taking a turn for the normal. Looks born normal. The distance beyond buildings lighting at the horizon. Dark clouds are blowing in.
A storm might be due this evening, give or take.
Shame for people looking forward to Halloween tonight. I'm just not sure whether this is something I can look forward to as well. Still, I bask in the change it brings. Inhale, exhale. Breathing in, taking the peace as it will be my last. But as with all good things, the quiet certainly comes to an end. Not necessarily a bad end. The chatter reaches my ears first, halting my movement. Sure enough, when I glance to find them, Zack, Rebecca, and Isabella, just as they've entered the park grounds, bags of convenience store food in hand. After last night's flight from Salemville, we've elected to stay the night here, unsure if our own homes will still be safe. Normally we'd all be adverse to the idea of spending the night outside like this, but the panic and distress has tainted that decision. It's not like any of us got into the ounce of sleep anyway. The off chance one of us did, it only lasted for a second, was a fitful one. Looking at them right now from afar, it's easy to mistake them as a group of friends on a day out. Isabella stretching wildly with her arms as she talks. Something funny or amusing probably, because it's soon followed by Zack's booming laughter and Rebecca's giggles. The voice fills the atmosphere with light air, temporarily easing off the disheartening moods. It's easy to pretend we're not in knee-deep in life and death situations in the way they're acting now. If anything, it's only their appearance that betrays that mask. Slightly disheveled, bags under their eyes, an exhausted curve on their shoulders, and dragging footsteps. The closer they get, the more obvious these signs are to naked eye. Zack does an energy drink on my way the moment the distance allows it. Isabella hands me the other bag she's holding, proceeding herself on the edge of the fountain. The scent of warm food immediately wafts from the bag when I open it, carried further by a passing breeze. Whatever sweet sauce they drizzled over this pork wannabe, it smells heavenly. Hell, even the sorry-looking vegetable seems appetizing. Despite myself, without even checking exactly what this is, hunger swiftly takes over every rational thought. I dig in without waiting for them to start. The rest of them appear to be in the same mind too, so enough they start theirs. No casual talk while we fill our empty stomachs. Exhausted as we all are, food is something we can't forego. Starvation does the thinking, weakens the body. If we are to survive this, we're gonna have to take care of ourselves first. As I can see, this is going to take a while longer. I'm going to stop here. Before there's going to be a corpse on this computer. And then a band strike on me. So, thank you for watching. Hopefully, if I'm getting the next update, maybe we get the head hats to work again. If not, well, I'll have to figure another program to use. But at least we get snow raining here, so that's nice. And next time, hopefully, we get some answers. And maybe we can finally get free of the curse. So, I'll see you all next time. Bye now.